If someone were to ask you, what is your favorite place on earth? I'm sure you would be able to picture somewhere immediately in your mind. This place you are visualizing is surely one filled with specific emotions or memories. Our lives are intimately bound to physical spaces. Our times may be the most digital of all ages in human history, but what we have seen, especially during COVID-19, is that it is challenging and not sustainable for us to live, work and play in a digital-only world. It is human nature to connect with our environments, just as it is human nature to connect with others. This is why whenever we at Consulus work on a place or urban transformation project, we begin not from looking at the infrastructure, but by first paying attention to what is most human about the environment. Every town and city will have both tangible and non-tangible features. The more deeply aware you are of them, the deeper your appreciation of the value of your town or city. Especially through time spent in COVID-19 lockdowns, people are becoming acutely aware of the features that create value and maybe even of shortfalls of their cities. Why should you, as an individual, even if you are not an urban planner or work in the government, care about the value or the development of your city? Let me share an insight that I had previously shared at a global conference about co-governance in 2019 about the value of places. I use the word places here loosely, referring to physical areas like cities, townships, or even master plan developments and malls. In our work in placemaking and urban transformation, what we found was that the more that people cared about a place, the greater the overall positive impact on a place's attractiveness and economic growth. In other words, a place is attractive not just because of great infrastructure, but also how well it creates a desire among people to care and be part of its identity. To illustrate the impact of connections and identity to a city, we can say that when a city is purely focused inwardly and overly focused on production, it stagnates without a sense of openness. Or if a city is focused only on growth, but without identity, it fails to inspire. Indeed, what we want to see in a city is that it is open and connected to the world, but at the same time that people feel a sense of belonging and identity to shape inspired growth. We define this as high creative growth. Today, more than ever, we need to honestly and factually embrace the dual importance of identity and connections. Too often, the development of cities is overly focused on infrastructure and technology developments and not focused enough on the building of identities and deep connections within and beyond the city. Now, COVID-19 has aggravated the various pre-existing challenges for cities today, which are demographic changes, economic slowdown, weakened links between economic growth, employment and social progress, growing disparities with poor getting poorer, increasing social polarization, spatial segregation and the so-called society dropouts. Lastly, urban sprawl. With urban ecosystems, it is also clear that in COVID-19, the cities whose people care more about their environment and fellow citizens were able to adapt and get involved on doing their part in helping to overcome the pandemic's immense challenges. There are opportunities to turn today's threats and challenges into positive outcomes and growth. But to do this, a new way of shaping the growth of cities is essential. A new methodology and planning framework are needed to guide this journey towards enabling cities and its inhabitants to grow in mutual responsibility by respecting and challenging roles, organizations and communities, and by combating polarization. Now I would like to invite my colleague Lorenz Pe to share more about a methodology to guide and shape the development of deeply human-centered cities of purpose.
Thank you, Stano. As Stano shared, the growth of a place is connected to its identity and its interconnections within, among inhabitants, civil organizations, businesses, government, faith, and cultural communities, and also with the world outside. It is clear that a city's growth is not a given. It requires active co-creation among its people. The notion of the purpose of a city matters, and it requires a holistic view. Such an approach, one of purpose and identity-driven co-creation, will allow for the creation of a new business or economic model of the city, where the underlying strength is not based solely on the creating conditions that allow only the exceptional and best talent to succeed, but make it possible for everyone to achieve success based on individual uniqueness. The true characteristics of such a new model should be inclusiveness and care, enabling everyone to grow in identity and to unleash new hidden synergies of purposefulness, connectedness, and mutual empowering. Such a comprehensive approach will not only create and secure investments, but assure long-lasting stability, sustainability, and resilience. The challenge is to create conditions for this and shape the steps towards this. We need every individual to feel safe and yet to be challenged, to contribute a constant dialogue on collective growth. This process can be time-consuming, but it is worth it. At the heart of the matter, there's one belief which we have discovered to be true in each one of our projects on city and community development. In today's competitive world, there is no lack of solutions, expertise, and resources. What is lacking is the unique and systematic ability to bring people together, facilitating all stakeholders to sit at a common table with a warm but clear invitation to give his or her unique contribution. A genuinely new culture has to enter into the scene and grow into reality as the project advances. This is why we created PlaceCore, a holistic development method for place development and transformation. This method, inspired by the concept of the economy of communion, puts human purpose at its core, catalyzed by a constant interconnected evolution of plants, products, and person. Supported by a global team at Consulus with renowned global partners in planning and infrastructure, this program brings together experts in business strategy, master planning, architectural design, organizational review, development implementation, and place branding. A people-focused approach is an underlying that will help private developers and government agencies to examine issues from a multidisciplinary perspectives and ensure maximum effectiveness. A successful project needs to integrate the best the place or site can offer in terms of physical attributes and the value it can bring to the communities in terms of socio-economic benefits. Especially today, people-focused and holistic solutions are critical as economies, markets, and communities strive to leave behind the devastation caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and to bring forth projects that will usher in fresh hopes and new horizons.